The way I see it like this. TNA, they had everything going for them, but then they blew it. They blew it all over the place, bro. And I have to blame Eric Bischoff or maybe Russo. You can blame whoever you want, but I'm telling you something. TNA had it going on. The mistake they made was they decided to go up against the great McMahon on Monday night. And that's where they draw. That's where they fell into all their problems. That's where they fell into the quagmire. And TNA just faded off, lost viewership, became irrelevant.
Yeah, you know what? You've been talking about TNA. I've heard other people talk about TNA. Last time I checked, TNA's still in fucking business. So TNA has really nothing to do with AEW. Yeah, the way I look at it, you gotta look at WCW and
Even broken clock's wrong
ECW.
twice.
Companies that went out of business. That's what you need to focus on of how AEW can succeed by avoiding their pitfalls. Yeah, should TNA be further along than they are? Of course.
You would have thought.
They're still
had
in
everything
business.
going for them.
But they're still in business.
Welcome to Other Side Wrestling, where we're talking about the things that AEW could do to be running strong. Not that they need to be going head to head against the WWE and Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, because let's face it, back then when that happened, that was the egomania of Ted Turner saying, I'm going to put another wrestling organization out of business. I don't see Cody Rhodes that being his mentality at all. Cody's not thinking about that. I don't think the Young Bucks, I think they're just talking about getting paid. So what are some things that they could do different than WCW and ECW? Because they're the ones that got bought out.
Exactly. I mean, I think first and foremost, be true to your vision. You know, ECW, that's one thing they were good at. They stayed true to ECW. You tuned into it. You got the programming that you were expecting. WCW, on the other hand, kept going through different phases and kept changing. And basically, they was trying... It's funny, they revolutionized wrestling, but then when the WWE started doing it better, WCW turned into WWE Light. So you don't want to do that. You want to stay true to your original vision. AEW says they're going to push win-loss records, ranking systems, which I find interesting and refreshing since the WWE did away with that shit a long time ago.
That's back in the glory days of the 80s.
So
when wrestlers were kicking ass.
Yeah, if you were Hulk Hogan, you were on top. If you were everybody else, get the fuck out of here.
That's one of the things that TNA, bro, fell off the scale. Because they used to have, the X Division was huge at the time. They had the Octagon ring, but they changed all that when they decided to go up against Monday Night Raw, when they decided to go on Mondays. It's funny, they had changed their whole brand before they even got there, and it just looked like a watered-down WCW, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and that's very true. Something else that they need to, and this is a pitfall that ECW fell into for financial reasons, don't become a developmental territory for WWE. Now, I know AEW is employing contracts and they're getting things like that. You make sure you get out of there running and that you get guys locked down for things, because if the WWE sees something they like, Vince has got the money to make an offer. So don't fall into that trap, making stars for them to take from you.
Which supposedly Vince is in the process right now and making sure everybody's contracts are all signed, locked tight, so that they can't be jumping to AEW.
Yeah, which is a smart move. He's been through this before. You know, Vince is gonna prepare. I'm not saying, some people saying he's afraid of AEW. I don't think Vince is afraid of anybody. He's taken on a billionaire, and who's still standing. I
don't see anybody trying to purposely, like I said before, put WWE out of business. And are you going to be able to do that anyways? Because WWE is bigger than they have ever been.
Yeah.
Just look at ticket sales. Give me a break. Management was a huge issue that WCW definitely struggled with. We all know TNA has struggled with that also. And you've got to have wrestlers that know about wrestling.
Yep, and on a financial end, ECW struggled with management too. So yeah, you got to have people not only understand the wrestling business, because it wasn't just ECW. The reason WCW existed is because the Crockett's ran it into financial ruin. And so Ted Turner came in, bought their territory, then you got WCW. So you not only need people who understand wrestling, you need people that understand business. You need people that understand money management and shit like that. And that's how you can avoid falling into that pitfall.
Another one for me would have to be staying true to your fans. What I love about Cody and the Young Bucks is they take time out for their fans. They care about the fans, but it's not just about the meet and greets and the autograph sessions. It's also about don't insult your fans. And that's one of the problems. Like ECW stayed true to their fan base always, but WCW would put on a pay-per-view and you'd waste your $30, $40 at the time because the next night on Nitro, the same main event took place with usually better results. The pay-per-views were just a tease to get you to watch Monday night. Nobody wants to spend $40 for a tease.
Exactly. And that is a good point. WCW really dropped the ball as far as keeping its fans happy. And then sometimes they gave shit away for free that they could have charged for.
Yeah, Goldberg, Hulk Hogan. Development talent. That was a huge thing that killed WCW.
Yep.
Something I think TNA has done a great job at trying to develop talent and mix things up. ECW obviously did that very well, but WCW, that's why they lost the Radicals that went all to WWE. I mean, just imagine that at the height of the Attitude Era, they lose Jericho, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, everybody, the Big Show, all of them walk to go to WWE because WCW wasn't utilizing them. And AEW can't fall into that same trap, which is kind of what WWE is doing today. There are some people that are really hot, and then they get put on the back burner and you forget about them. Braun Strowman, Elijah.
Exactly. WWE has fallen into that. And yeah, WCW was horrible at doing that. Really, the only 3 stars that I can say, and when I say star, I mean they made it to the main event or they were the world champion. The only 3 that I can really think of during that time, I'm not talking about guys like Sting and Ric Flair. I'm talking about during the Monday Night Wars when they were trying to be competitive. Diamond Dallas Page, Scott Steiner, and Goldberg.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they had Chris Jericho went on to be a world champion, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. These guys went to WWE, became world champions, showed that they had that in them. I guess Booker T. I don't want to forget Booker T. WCW did make him
Tell me you did not almost forget Booker T, sucker.
I almost forgot Booker T.
And then, of course, we talked about it a little bit in the last one, but good booking.
Yeah, you gotta have good booking. Don't overdo the overbooked finishes, the gimmick matches, which I don't think Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and everybody involved in this would do that because that's not their style of wrestling. But it's an easy trap to fall into.
Yeah. Those are just a few of the things that we saw that, hey, AEW wants to keep climbing and keep climbing. Do some of these suggestions, and they're going to rock it to the top. It'll be really interesting to see where AEW is this time next year. Any other comments, Vincent?
No, one other thing on how to watch AEW's Double or Nothing. Pay attention to their website. Details are to come on how to watch it. I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of thing streaming through the internet. But I know I'm excited to find out because I want to see this show. I want to see AEW kicking out of the park strong. And I think with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho headlining, get out of here.
Double or Nothing, May 25th. AEW for life. It's the other side. We're out.